Breaking news overnight. Commotion in a South Fargo neighborhood as police scrambled to the area on a report of a stolen car. The vehicle was found in the 1900 block of 14.5 Street right around 1 overnight.
It was the pickup that Clay County deputies had tried to stop earlier in the night. Fargo police spent about an hour searching the truck that was parked in someone's driveway. There's no word on any arrests or why deputies were trying to stop that driver. Back to school could mean back in school for a lot of North Dakota kids this fall. Governor Doug Burgum is greenlighting in-person classes if that's what districts want. But they first need a health and safety plan and a backup distance learning plan approved. Both Fargo and West Fargo school districts released statements saying the coming days will involve continued planning for the fall.
Fargo Superintendent Rupat Gandhi says the school board will seek input from parents and staff, with the final plan tentatively set to be announced at the end of July. He previously told Valley News Live that his hope is to open for in-person instruction while offering online options for those who need it, which is something many parents we spoke with would be interested in.
Thinking about that, whatever the percentage is, which I know it's super tiny, but what if that's my kid? What if it's my neighbor's kid?
Governor Burgum closed all public and private K-12 schools in March by executive order after the first case of the coronavirus was confirmed in North Dakota. Students then finished the school year online.
Let's get a check now of our First Alert Storm Team forecast, 9 minutes before 7, and it's a quiet start to the day for most of us anyway.
Yeah, we did start off early morning before that sun was up with a thunderstorm or two. Those really just fell apart, and we're just looking at some sunshine mixed in with a few clouds this morning and as we head into the afternoon. And you can see that on our First Alert Skycam network here to start off our day today. Let's take a look at our conditions throughout the valley. Most of us reporting some mostly sunny skies. Fargo's at 62 degrees with some sunshine. Grand Forks 60, and so is Devil's Lake. We're still at 59 in Fergus Falls and in Bemidji, where we have a little more clouds there. Here's a look at our winds. We have winds that are southwesterly or southerly, and it's a nice warming wind for us today. And not too strong right now, but we could see some of those gusts get picked up again into the 20s as we head into the afternoon. And radar is looking really good right now. That rain that we had earlier on in just 1 or 2 spots has really just fallen apart. And then there are some places where there are a little bit of cloud, or is a little bit of cloud cover. We're missing a round of rain and thunder down to the south of us in South Dakota and Nebraska, but we have a boundary that those storms fired on this morning that could trigger more this afternoon, and that's rolling through the valley here right now. So we want to just give you a heads up that we have that isolated storm threat coming up for the afternoon hours for some of us. Here's a look at your patio planter this morning, looking pretty good out on the patio. Even if you're just stepping out to take a sip or two of coffee and take in that sunshine, you should be just fine. Heading into the afternoon, getting into the 80s in several locations. Not everybody hits that, especially in those areas that see those thunderstorms, but still looking a little warmer than yesterday, a high of 85 in Fargo. And again, be on the lookout for a little rain and thunder. Same thing goes for Thursday, but more organized weather happens on Friday. We have a first alert weather day for Friday because of the severe risk we're looking at. But in addition to that, we've got some intense heat back into the 90s Friday and as we head into Saturday too. So cranking things up for the end of the week. Let's check in with Devin Fry for the Valley Today's Traffic on the Move.
Thanks, Lisa. Our goal was to finish up our drive for this hour on I-94, but it doesn't look like we're going to quite make it there coming from the downtown area on University Drive. We might actually be able to turn onto there by the end of this if the green light situation continues to work out for us. But here on University Drive, you can see that the traffic flow, it's going at about the level that we expect at this time of the morning. Now, things are just kind of starting to pick up here around the FM area. It's kind of a slow start this morning. Normally around this 7 o'clock hour, that's when things really start to get busy. So expect this traffic flow to continue. You can see the amount of vehicles up on I-94 here. We're going to get a better look of it when we head west toward Bismarck. But overall, definitely a little bit lighter at this point in the morning. But we're going to keep watching this in the next hour on the Fargo CW to kind of see how the traffic flow grows. We're going to keep checking out these roadways, but for now, for your traffic on the move, I'm Devin Fry.
New this morning, a man is dead after 2 semis crashed in Cass County, Minnesota. State troopers say one driver ran a stop sign at County Road 23 and Highway 64 and hit the other truck. The victim is a 75-year-old man from Staples, Minnesota.
Also new this morning, 2 people are seriously hurt after a driver ran a stop sign near Minot. The Highway Patrol says a driver from Duluth ran the stop sign last night south of Minot and was hit on the passenger side by a pickup. No one in the pickup was hurt, but the driver and the passenger in the other vehicle have what are described as life-threatening injuries. The passenger was airlifted to Minot and then to Grand Forks for her injuries. The attorney representing the family of George Floyd is planning to announce a civil lawsuit against the city of Minneapolis and police officers in a news conference later this morning. Floyd was killed May 25th while in Minneapolis police custody.
Video of the incident shows former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin with his knee on Floyd's neck for nearly 8 minutes while Floyd was handcuffed. Oil will keep flowing through the Dakota Access Pipeline for now anyway. A federal appeals court has temporarily halted a judge's order that the Dakota Access Pipeline be shut down in 3 weeks.
The court panel says last night's order allows the pipeline to operate while the appeals court considers arguments. Many family and community members will be in Grand Forks later today honoring 21-year-old Natasha Aposhian. She's the airman who was killed on the Grand Forks Air Force Base in June.
Aposhian's family says that she was a victim of domestic violence and was killed by a man who also took his own life. The Valley Today's Callie Hubbard joins us live in Grand Forks with more on how her death and others in the military are reawakening the #MeToo movement. Good morning, Callie.
Good morning, Jordan and Lisa. Natasha Aposhian's family says she was an airman first class. She joined the Air Force in December of 2019 and graduated in February. Now, according to a recent report released by the Department of Defense, there were 6,236 sexual assaults reported in the military in 2019, an increasing number every year since 2012. And similar to Aposhian's story, Vanessa Guillen, a soldier based out of Fort Hood, was another victim of abuse. Her remains were found 20 miles from her base in Texas. The military says she's thought to have been killed by Army Specialist Aaron Robertson, who later died by suicide. And earlier this week, they held a walk for Guillen to demand justice in Texas. Servicewomen across the country are using the hashtag #IamVanessaGuillen to speak out against what they say is culture of sexual harassment and abuse that encourages survivors of sexual assault to remain silent. Over the last 10 years, there have been 4 deadly shootings in Grand Forks involving active duty airmen, and all were suicidal in nature. There's going to be a vigil tonight that's going to be held right here, right in front of the Federal Building in Grand Forks from 7 to 8:30 p.m. tonight. Event organizers say her family deserves answers and she should still be alive today. And event organizers also said that there's going to be a limited amount of candles, face masks, and water that will be provided. They are also telling you to stay socially distanced, and there's also a GoFundMe set up for her. You can find the link to that on our Valley News Live app.
An important conversation to have, and the vigil happening tonight. Be sure to follow by using your VNL News app.
Fargo police are concerned about a high number of drug overdoses this month. Officers have responded to 7 calls since July 1st, the second largest number of overdoses in a month this year, behind May.
Police are hearing some people are trying to revive victims by splashing cold water on their face, but officers say that's not what to do if someone's overdosing and not breathing effectively. They say you really do need to call 911 right away to get medical help and then begin CPR. And if you suspect the person is overdosing on opioids, you should administer Narcan.
And don't forget, the law protects from prosecution and arrest for people who call for help for someone who is experiencing an overdose.
Fargo Police Chief David Todd says he plans on leaving the department at the end of the month, after initially agreeing to stay on until his replacement was found. Todd told KFGO News and Views that he'll miss the great people he works with, but not the stress that comes with the job.
Since his retirement announcement in May, Todd has dealt with demonstrations and a downtown riot. One of his deputy chiefs also resigned after claiming to be working undercover during that May 30th protest that then turned violent. People are stepping up to help a Moorhead business that had shut down after the place was trashed. The Tasty Freeze was burglarized sometime Sunday night or Monday morning. A side window in the front glass was broken. The toilet inside was even busted.
Vandals also ransacked the place. A GoFundMe account has raised about $15,000 so far to help owners get back on their feet. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Today's question: in a new survey, 70% of people say they go cheap when buying this summertime item.
The answer is sunglasses, and you need to. If I've broken one pair, I've broken 50.
I know, I go through about 10 pairs every summer. Every summer.
That's why you got to get the cheap ones. Thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. The Today Show and CBS This Morning, they're just about to start, but the Valley today, it rolls on. We have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up right now on the Fargo CW.